I've been married for a month, and my husband is having an affair with my sister. Jesus! Real posts, real problems, real talk. It's tea time. So go ahead and grab your favorite cup of tea or whatever you like to sip, and let's spill it and clean it up. Let's go. What's up? I'm Tonya of TNL.J Relationship Coaches. Today's post: I've been married for a month and my husband is having an affair with my sister. How do you get through this? All right, y'all, we got some cleaning up to do. So make sure you got your cozy comforter or whatever you need. I always have my little cozy blanket and I'm going to sip my little tea. All right, so let's read this post. I've been in shock since I found out. We have been married for a month. And let's see, he's been having an affair with my sister since before we got engaged back in November. Wow. And you didn't notice this. Sneaky him, sneaky him. Let's see. My sister is 8 months pregnant. What? Her husband was the one who discovered the affair. And he is divorcing her. Oh, I hope this ain't your husband's baby. Let's see. Dog sister. He had to get a test done on the advice of his aunt, who is a solicitor, to make sure their 1.5-year-old son was his child. But my sister doesn't yet know if her husband or my husband is the father of her baby. Wow, I gotta say, I'm like in awe right now, but I know these situations do happen. But shame on you, sister. How can you, are you not your sister's keeper? Wow. Okay, I know people make mistakes, but to have an affair with your sister's husband, this is not a mistake. And then you think you may be pregnant by her husband? Wow, sister. Mm-mm. Whatsoever shall you do? All right, so this is definitely a mess that we got to clean up. Let's continue. I've been seeking a divorce, even though my husband wants us to go to counseling and stay married. I'm an advocate, a barista. So I won't have any trouble finding a solicitor at least. All right, so one thing is, yeah, you did get married. So marriage is till death do us part. So I understand your husband wanting to work on it. However, if you decide not to work on it, then I also understand you leaving. Just I mean, as in the Bible, I'm a biblical person. I believe in God and God's laws. If you get married to somebody, you stay with them for better or worse to death do you part, or you leave them, but you are not to be with another man, all right, or another person sexually. So, if you think you can do that, go ahead and leave them. But, all right, let's continue. Again, I'm an advocate, a barista, so I won't have any trouble finding a solicitor, at least. The law only takes adultery into consideration as to why the marriage broke down and not for how assets are divided or settled. Hmm. However, at least I would not have to pay him support since we were only married for a month before I moved out of our flat. So you must be the breadwinner, and he out there cheating. All right, I will never speak to my sister again, no matter how much she begs me to forgive her. And I am not staying married to my husband, no matter how much he begs me to stay. I don't believe either of them when they say they are sorry, not one bit. Let me just say, sister, my heart goes out to you. Just to even imagine my sister doing such a thing to me would definitely crush my soul. Let me sip my little tea. Hold on. By the way, I got that green tea today. What you got? Put it in the comments. All right, but back in, yeah, that would hurt me to my soul for my sister to cheat with my husband. Not only that, my husband and I are best friends. So for him to step out with my sister, that'll hurt even more. Okay. So what do you do? Do you forgive your sister? I mean, that's your blood. Or do you just throw all that sisterhood down the drain? Do you forgive your husband? or not? What do you do in that situation? That is definitely a sticky situation. For me, everybody relationship is different. So I'm sure it depends on how much this man has in the bank account, the love account, we'll call it. As far as my husband, I'm so full. I'm so full. His account is so full that I would not leave my husband. Would I take some time? Of course. You would have to take some time. You would have to take some time away. Um, you would have to. But ultimately, me leaving my husband would definitely not be a thing. Would he know that? No, he wouldn't, because like I said, I'm gonna take some time. I ain't gonna do nothing fishy, nothing crazy, but some time to discover myself and work on myself and, go to counseling. He's gonna have to go, he's gonna have to prove to me, he's gonna have to do some work. And I ain't talking about no talking. I'm talking about putting some action to that thing. So hey, I ain't gonna leave, but it's gonna feel like it. It's gonna feel like the worst maybe 2 years of your life that you're gonna be without your nurturer, your wife that got your back. You gonna really feel it. Okay. And that's for my sister. Yeah, her too. I'm gonna have to take some time away from you too. And yeah, I forgive you, but you're gonna have to put that work in too. And I don't know if I could ever trust you in my house again with myself and my husband, that kind of thing. So that is a sticky situation. Like, it ain't that I don't trust my husband. I just don't trust my husband around you, because look what you did. Look what both of y'all did. I would expect for my sister to hold it down a little more than my husband. Like, you know. I mean, my husband too, but my sister, I think I would really hold her accountable, because we was friends before the husband even came along. We grew up together. You my big sister. I'm gonna hold my husband accountable too, but my sister, I think I'll be a little more upset with her. What y'all think about this? Make sure you put something in the comments about this. But yeah, you showing me that action plan, would definitely help out a lot. All right. So my husband going to therapy with me by himself, making some initiative to show me that he's truly sorry, not just saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, can you forgive me? As well as my sister. Okay. So let's go read some of these comments. So here's a comment. I'm so sorry for their betrayal. I would never speak to her ever again either. Hmm. I can't say great advice. That's just some advice. Typical advice. All right. The amount of posts about siblings cheating with their siblings' partner is truly baffling. Where I'm from, these cases are extremely, extremely rare. Maybe they're hidden. Well, I don't know. We look at our sibling partners as our own siblings' families. True indeedy. That's how we are in our family. And so it will really be like, oh my God, you nasty. You slept with your sister? Wowzers. Okay. All right. So I thought the thought of looking at my sister's partner as an affair partner is puke inducing. Absolutely agreed. And I would kill for my sister. Absolutely agreed. To even think to put her through something so traumatic is beyond comprehension to me. Me as well. I don't understand. Do people not love their siblings? I think people love their siblings, but I think sometimes the temptation, the lust, these demons, these lust demons, things just get into people to where, I mean, some people can't stand the thought that you got a good thing. They want to try your good thing. And for your husband to give in to it is kind of like, wow, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Especially a sister. All right. I hear about the friends and everything, which is dirty too, because a friend is like a sister, but she just not blood. So with a close sister, depending on, how this sisterhood went, it's never right for a man to cheat with a sister or anybody in that matter. But some sisters aren't close at all. They're more like civil rivalries themselves. So one sister hating on another sister, always being thought she was the black sheep. It's always things. Daddy loved her more, mama loved her more. They ain't ever think about me. And that's kind of the number one excuse. when something like this happens, that's where they go. That's where they take it to, the childhood wounds, the childhood trauma that they went to where the reason they cheated with their sister's partner. But anyway, my sister's like my child. I know I shouldn't judge, but like, WTH, what is this upbringing? Why is this so common? Hmm. That's a great question. All right, another question. Since you've only been married for a month, isn't annulment an option? So sorry for what you're going through, sis. And hubby are both trash. Okay. Hmm. I can see that. I can see it. All right. Next comment. Okay, here go an update. I've been married for about a month. An update for this. All right. People who say you should get over it when someone cheats on you have no idea what it's like. All right. So this is 10 months later. Let's see. Last June, I, female 37, found out my husband, male 39, was having an affair with my sister. All right, so it's just going back over. Okay, let me read. All right. The affair began when I was engaged, before I was engaged. Why would the husband even take it there to marriage, though? It's like so freaking weird. Why would you take it to marriage? Okay. All right. Their affair began before I was engaged. My sister's husband, M20, male 27, was the one who found it out. When it was discovered, my sister was about 8 months pregnant with a baby girl, and it turned out my ex-husband is the father. Wow. Apparently, he was furious when he found out because he didn't want children. Should have strapped it up, partner. All right, my ex-husband and I met in an online dating group for people who don't want children or to date people who have children from former relationships. My ex-husband and my sister both begged me to forgive them. My sister said she can't help it that she fell in love with him. And my ex-husband said he couldn't be blamed for what happened. You're both to blame. There's no accountability going on with the sister and the ex-husband. Yeah, so yeah, they're definitely not. The apologies that your ex-husband is giving you is trash, and the apologies that your sister's giving you is trash. So right now they're both not worthy of having you in their presence. Okay. All right, so let's continue. She can't help it. Who she can't help that she fell in love with him. Wow. I couldn't believe that they thought what they did could be forgiven and forgotten. My ex husband didn't want a divorce, and neither did my sister from my former brother in law. I'm divorced now. Congratulations. I'm an advocate, and I don't even advocate for a divorce, but hey, he cheated, and he cheated with your sister. He fathered the baby. That's enough pain. It's pain. It's pain there. And if you didn't think you can get over it, then yeah, the best thing it would do is to be a divorce because you don't want this haunting you every day, and it's something you throwing up in his face, and y'all just never ever being able to, get that spark back, that love back that you had, before any of this. So yeah, let's finish reading and make sure you put your opinions in the comment below. So she said, I'm divorced now. I'm an advocate, known as a barista in the rest of the world of the UK. So I was fortunate to already know the best solicitor who could represent me in my divorce. Since I was the only one married for a month before I saw the divorce and moved out of our flat, I did not have to pay my ex-husband maintenance, and the divorce did not take long. It's a different story for my sister and my former brother-in-law. They were married for longer. They own property and they have a son together. He was 17 months old when the affair was discovered. My sister may end up having to pay spousal and child maintenance since she earns more. Their divorce is ongoing. I haven't spoke with my former brother-in-law since I first left my ex-husband, but I feel badly for him. He was devastated when he found out about the affair and the baby not being his child. He didn't deserve any of that. No, he didn't. People who say you should just get over it when someone cheats on you have no idea. I never, I have never felt pain like this before. It wasn't even just emotional, it was physical as well. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to start seeing a counseling. Congratulations to you for taking that step. You definitely need to see a counselor. Any ideas? Anything could, wait a minute. I had no idea anything could hurt so much. I'm going to start seeing a counselor, but it doesn't feel like enough, and it may not be. But once you start seeing that counselor, then after a couple months or weeks, then you're gonna start feeling better. Get it off your chest, and once you start working on yourself, and just doing other things to where you're not at home just crying. Let me sip some tea. Mm, mm. Got to sip some tea on that one. Yeah, when you're not sitting at home crying so much and you got things to do, go to work, go to school, out having a life, then you won't think about it so much. Once time really does heal wounds, and a counselor will help you too. All right, so I haven't seen or spoken to my ex-husband since I moved out of the flat. The only contact during the divorce was through our solicitors. He's dead to me, and so is my sister. Again, once you divorce, it is a death. It's absolutely a death. So you have to mourn that death and move on. I haven't seen or spoken to my sister since shortly after I left my ex-husband, and I never want to see her again. She's dead to me too. I don't think I'll ever heal from this. I'm fortunate my parents, my other sister, and most of my family support me and have disowned my traitor sister and no longer have contact with her. That's deep right there, though. Yeah, your sister is a traitor, but she's still gonna need some support from somebody because she's going through too. Yeah, I mean everybody makes mistakes. She's definitely trash for doing that, but everybody makes mistakes. And I can't even call this a mistake. Everybody does something stupid sometimes. That was really stupid. It was beyond stupid, and she don't get no passes. She definitely don't. But for her to be in this situation by herself, and she might cause herself some harm or anything. So she needs some support in her corner as well. I hope that you are able to heal and forgive your sister. With time, and if she gets the chance to prove to you that she was truly sorry about what happened. Okay, again, time tends to heal wounds. So I hope you guys can regain some sense of sisterhood, even though it would never be like it was before, because that's a big, thing that she done to break trust in y'all sister bond. So, all right. So anyone who tells me I should forgive her or chooses her over me gets removed from my life with no second chance. I don't ever want to hear anything about either one of them again. From what my ex-husband solicitor said during my divorce, sister and ex-husband, plan to marry after she is granted a divorce. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. So her sister and her ex-husband plan to marry. Hmm. That be the case, if that happened, then yeah, sis, eh, I'm moving on. If you decide to marry him, I'm moving on. Bye. Okay. All right. So I haven't heard anything about either one of them since then. I try not to even think about either of them. There were two of the people I love, or most in the world, and they did something that I'll never heal from. They are selfish and they destroyed me. Anyone who says I should get over this or forgive and forget has no idea what it's like. Well, in the case of them getting married, that would absolutely be hard for me to forgive or forget. Although we do have to forgive, we don't have to bother with them. We don't have to be around them. We do have to forgive. We have to forgive for us to even move on. So there's no way you're going to be able to move on if you don't forgive your sister and your ex-husband. Okay? You'll never forget it, but you will have to forgive. All right, let's read this comment. Thank you for the update. You and your BIL are both making the best possible decision. You're right. Your ex and your ex sister are horrible, selfish people. They hurt so many people. Do whatever you can to protect your peace and mental health. I'm so sorry they did this to you. Honestly, I recommend blocking anyone who says you need to forgive them and move on. Sis, you can't move on without forgiveness. So you're going to have to forgive them. Again, you don't have to be around them. You don't have to have them in your life, but you're going to have to forgive them to even start over, and to even begin to get to knowing the new you. You have to forgive and let the old things go to bring out some new things. All right. So, like a plant, you have to prune the plant. You have to prune the old things off to regrow. Okay. So, you forgive, you prune, you move on. All right. So, whoever says you have to forgive them, don't do it is pretty much what she's saying. She's saying, no, you don't. You may at some point in the future need to explore forgiveness from the point of view of easing the weight on your heart, absolutely. But don't feel pressure to offer forgiveness to either of them. I wish you the best of luck in your future. For the most part, Coco, this is a good comment. All right. One more. Guaranteed the only reason sister's marrying the ex at this point is because he's all she has since she's been disowned from the entire family. It's a marriage of convenience. Something tells me that that's going to be one toxic relationship, as I'm sure there'll be resentment there from both of them, and they'll have no one to blame but themselves. Push come to shove, what I think is that it's going to happen to her as well. He's going to do the same thing. It might not be your sister. It might be with a friend or something. Once a cheater, you're always a cheater. And shoot, the sister ain't so angel herself, so she could be the one stepping out. But yes, you're absolutely right. This is going to be such a toxic relationship. What do you think? Make sure you leave a comment. What do you think about this? All right, so let's finish reading this. As I'm sure there'll be resentment there for both of them, and they'll have no one to blame but themselves. All I can say for the ex who never wanted kids, karma. Well, I feel for that kid. I hope the kid doesn't grow up with parents that resent them. They don't deserve that. Wow. This is crazy. But again, it's real. It's a real problem that exists. And so, yeah, that's a real problem. This is real talking. We just spilled the tea and we cleaned it up. So, yeah, leave a comment. What do you think about a husband cheating on his wife after a month with her sister getting pregnant? I find it hard that it was no signs that he was actually a cheater before they got married. That's why we got to make sure we got our eyes open when we out here dating. We got to pay attention to the red flags. We got to pay attention. We got to date with intentionality. All right. And this has been another tea time with T. And when Lamont joins, you already know. We're going to splash it with some lemonade. It's going to be good. Again, that's one of my favorite drinks, the tea with the lemonade. So it's going to be good. This has been another one. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next Wednesday for tea time. Make sure you have that tea or whatever you like to drink. See you on the next one.